Hello and welcome to the Elon Mercenary Moment. My name is Aaron Spears.
And I'm Brad Hathcock. Welcome back, Pikachu. After a little 2 week hiatus here.
Did I was in Hawaii.
How was your trip?
Um, you know, do you have any desire to go to Hawaii?
Um, I would like to go on a cruise there, I think, but I don't know that I would want to stay specifically there. Like, I want to go and I want to see the Pearl Harbor Memorial and stuff like that, like you went to. Um, but I don't know that there's enough there because I'm not a beach person. I don't
Mm,
want to sit on the beach for an entire day and do nothing. It's just
I,
not my style.
I'm not either. Um, yeah, it's not. It wasn't for me. I think I think I will forever now just travel north. I have no desire to ever go below where I live now. Um, yeah, it was really when you're there, it's kind of tough because it's like, first of all, it's like well, I went to Honolulu. That's very much like Los Angeles with humidity. Um, just like cars everywhere, and just the houses are it's kind of like between. It really is like being sort of like you could be in Thailand or California. Like it's just like the architecture and everything, but like there's
Really?
yeah. Um, that's for like where regular people live because like the houses are kind of old and they look like some of them are kind of shanty looking and others are kind of modern. um I went to the Pearl Harbor thing, of course. I toured the Missouri, which was really cool because the Missouri was something that it's the ship where they signed the Japanese surrender, and that spot is obviously like there's just like a giant thing in the floor where they did it, and then there's the flag that was there. It's like framed or whatever. Um, and then you could either go on a guided tour, and these guides like they really do try to get you to go with them. They're like, come on, huddle up to everybody. But you don't have to do that. You could just go on your own. And so
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
yeah, so like it was fucking hot, and on the second sort of bit, I had already known everything about the where the Japanese surrendered, so she was going to go into like this whole thing about it, and I was like, I'm just going to leave. And so yeah, I went and walked around the ship, and it takes about I would say it takes about 45 minutes to go through it quickly. And yeah, you just go and look at all the old stuff. The technology is from like roughly the late 80s because the ship was recommissioned for the Gulf War. So you just see it smells like the 80s. You get a good sense of like what it was like to live on there, where like you have all these different rooms and things. And I've never been on a ship before, I should say. And anywhere they could stick a bunk or a series of bunks, they would. So like it's a really tight fit, and they have like everything that was there when they parked it, basically. So the rooms are they just have rope off, and then it's like this is where so and so was, and this is where the doctor was, and here's the captain's chair, and yeah, you just go look at it. It's awesome. And then the Arizona Memorial was um I've been told it's very moving. I think it depends on the crowd you're with, because I was just with a bunch of assholes who did not appreciate the seriousness of that site, and so it was kind of weird. Um,
There's always that group of people out on like a tour. Whenever you go and do those kinds of things, there's always that group that like doesn't take it that way. Like I think that there's one museum where you absolutely can't be that person, and it's like the Holocaust Museum in DC because it's so fucking somber. Like
I've
the
been there.
whole thing is, yeah, like it's so dark inside and everything. Like it's almost impossible to like be that asshole, but there always does seem to be one on like every other tour you go on.
Well, the way they designed that museum, I'll get back to the other thing, is that there's like three. I think there's like three tiers, and every time you go up a level, there's this like central area where there's just pictures of people who are killed, and it's just like it just goes on and on and on. So you're just every level you're like seeing a whole new perspective on those pictures. And yeah, it's impossible to be. I would say the Vietnam memorial was the most touching thing I've ever seen. Mainly because I got to do it by myself. There was like nobody there. Um,
See, in DC, that one that you're talking about,
yeah.
and for Vietnam,
Mm-hmm.
right? I also went to that one, and there was like an asshole there that was like blaring music from his phone or some bullshit, like as I'm walking through there. And it's like, dude, some of us are trying to like actually read this stuff and like enjoy this thing as much as you can enjoy something like that, I guess, right? Because it's again dark, it's somber, um, but there's always somebody, and like I like going to museums and going on a lot of these tours and stuff, and there just always seems to be somebody to fuck it up for everybody else.
Yeah, they say like on the Arizona, turn your fucking phones off. Um, and then they have you get on a boat. You have to go to it from a boat, and somebody got up in the middle of the ride, and so they were yelling at that person, and somebody had their phone on. The memorial is it's not what it was, I guess, back then. I guess there used to be like oil that you could visibly see on the surface, and that wasn't really a thing. But yeah, that was interesting. And then obviously there's just a giant wall in the back with all the names of the people who were there that day. And really, I kind of make history like the thing that drives me to go to places. So like this was just something that was like a bucket list thing. Um, because I want to be in the place where the thing happened, so I could just like imagine Japanese Zeros flying over the mountains, and you're just in this harbor, and you're like, holy shit, this is where that happened. And what was the other thing I went on? Oh, I went to their air museum. Not anything remarkable at all. In fact, it was probably like the least interesting part of the trip. And then I went to a Buddhist temple, which the bartender there. I was like, "Is there anything here that's like kind of weird that nobody knows about?" And she's like, "I went to this Buddhist temple when I was a kid," and I was like, "All right." So I went there, and there was like, they just walked in, and you just walk around the Buddhist temple, and there's nobody around. I was the only one there really, and I went into all the buildings and like respected the signage. One of the rooms you had to take your shoes off, and it was just I was there for like an hour, just like this is. It was very strange. Like there were candles everywhere that were lit, so obviously somebody was around somewhere. Um, yeah, it was.
But did you enjoy it, right? Because like one of the things that you did that I tend to try to do when I'm on vacation somewhere, right? Like I like to leave some time to do random shit maybe that you find, and talking to like locals to see like what's not a tourist spot,
Yeah,
like I find can be some of the best parts of vacation. So you did that the right way. Like in my opinion, that is one of the right things to do. So did you have fun at the Buddhist temple?
it was the best part.
Regardless,
Because I didn't know I don't know anything about Buddhism. I'm a Buddhist now. Like the one room I went into where there was like take your shoes off. It was this giant room, and it was filled with statues and ornaments and things, and there was just like piles of food, like rice and things, and I was like, I don't know what this is here for, but all right. Yeah, it was fucking awesome, and there were chickens, and it was uh I guess I was like, it's kind of out of the way. It was kind of up in the mountains, and I was like, I don't know if I can get an Uber here, but I did. Obviously, on the north side of the island is where all the Jurassic Park stuff was filmed, and that's kind of a big deal for people. But I didn't really want to. I didn't care to go there really. I was mostly there to relax, which I absolutely did not do. Um, but yeah, I and I
vacations aren't relaxing.
no, they're not. I mean, I did some reading, but I also got to fly on Delta 767, and got to have like the reclining bed thing and watched that movie, The Materialists. And so I hate flying because I just get so fucking bored. But so anything that can make it interesting is good. So all that to
I
say,
also don't like flying. I like to get drunk before I get on the plane and then watch like horribly violent movies when I'm on airplanes.
I just feel like air travel's super unsafe. Like I was like the whole time I was kind of worried. I'm like, I don't know why any of this even works. But um yeah, I moved my flight up because of the shutdown, and I didn't want to get stuck anywhere. And that's what happened the day before in Burbank. So I got back, and I don't know. I want to go to
It's
Alaska. I want to go to Seattle. I don't want to go anywhere humid and hot like ever again.
Do yourself a favor, do a cruise to Alaska.
I thought about it. Yeah.
Be- yeah, because like you can obviously only go in like so long, but you can do an Alaskan cruise. And my wife went on one before, and she loved it. She said it was phenomenal. But I think they left out of Seattle, so you could kind of kill two birds with one stone there. Go spend a couple days in Seattle, and then take your cruise, through Alaska and stuff. But she had a blast. She absolutely loved it.
I think it's a weather thing and like a visual thing. Like I don't like the rainforest or the humidity, but I like a pine tree. I like winter. I like weather. So I think I'm good. I could say I went to Hawaii, and people go there all the
Yeah.
time. I mean, there were.
One, you got to go to see the historical thing that you wanted to see, right? I think that's really the impetus of the trip in
Mm-hmm.
general. Is like it's a bucket list thing for you to see. You don't really care for heat that much. Definitely don't go to New Orleans in August because I did, and it sucks because it's god awfully hot. There's like 100% humidity, and it's 110 degrees. Like it sucks. Um, but there again, there's the best World War II museum I've ever been to at New Orleans. So
Yeah, I want to get there too.
you know, but if you're gonna travel for things like that, I mean, it is what it is. You're gonna have to go to places that probably aren't your favorite places to be, and you just have to go because you want to see that thing. So it's a nice bucket list. That's a nice one to check off your bucket list, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm glad I did it. Um, so yeah, that was kind of it, and obviously
Because you were only there a couple of days, and it's funny to think that you were there for what, like 3 days,
I was there for
something like
2 days.
that.
I was supposed to be there for 3, but
So like to me, that's not even worth it to go to Hawaii for 2 days because I have to. It like for me to travel there, it takes so much longer than it takes you because you live in California.
I would never. Yeah, I
So
could never imagine the flight. I mean, that's
oh my god, it would. I think it's like 12 hours or something like that. I'm not sure because I'd never looked. But like I have to fly to California or Texas or something like that, and then fly to Hawaii. Like it's not even worth the trip really. But my wife also said she would be interested in doing a trip to Hawaii on a cruise because then it's not you're not just doing Hawaii. You're probably doing something else along the way too.
yeah, and there's obviously many islands there, and they're all very different. I was in the
Right.
kind of the hellscape of but it was the tourism thing was interesting to see who was there. Like I think 50% of the people I encountered were Japanese, which was
Oh
interesting.
yeah. Hawaii is a huge Japanese like tourist area. Like they go there and from what I understand, they buy shoes. It's like a big thing is buying shoes from places like Hawaii and then sending them back to Japan. I don't know why, but
Well, all the stores
apparently it's a
there.
thing.
I mean, I was right down the street from all these high end stores, except for the Gucci one was closed, which I was disappointed by. But I had like real authentic sushi. I found a guy in a place that did the thing, and that was awesome. So, um, I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I have some items, but they're more end of the podcast type items. We can get to the news.
Well, I would like to talk about a news item, which was this whole gambling thing, which I thought was really interesting in
Mm.
the NBA. Because Chauncey Billups is a head coach, I think, and then they were busted by the FBI, and there's like 40 guys or whatever, and I think there's other sports involved, and these guys were running like illegal poker, whatever, but they had like technology that could see the cards through the table, and they just like I don't know how they were cheating, but they were using technology, and there was like this whole thing that it hasn't really like fully revealed itself yet because there are players who were passing along information about who was going to play or not play, and guys were making money off of it. And I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, especially from the sports betting perspective. Like from hockey, we saw Shane Pinto last year be suspended for a half a season, so 41 games and all he did was actually have somebody else bet on games for him. I don't think he ever directly bet on them. He had somebody else bet for him. And he's a younger guy. I mean, he's only been in the league probably 6 years or so, and he already was caught and dealt with that suspension. And then the like NHLPA and stuff like that put out like a here is how this works. Like it's not like you guys can't bet on sports, but like you definitely can't bet on hockey, and like they have these like strict guidelines. And so this one hockey podcast I listened to was kind of talking about that and saying like, well, I'm sure that the league is going to like reinforce these like rules and be like, okay, like now that this has come out, here's these fucking rules again. Like, because now that they got Shane Pinto, the next person's probably like doubly fucked. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, we set an example here, but like next person we're going to have to like make another example out of and hit them for a full season suspension or something like that without pay, I imagine. So who knows, like, because they've already indicted what, like 50 people in
It's
this
a lot.
situation.
And it wasn't just like, I mean, I don't know why, but like these guys who are highly competitive, they get into gambling. I mean, Michael Jordan famously was like, all he did was play basketball and gamble. Like that's all he wanted to do. He gambled when he was golfing. And you have like Pete Rose, who obviously never got into the Hall of Fame because of his gambling. And it just seems like it's always going to be a thing, and it just infects the sports. And this one probably seems more egregious because the guy who was passing along injury information was like, "Hey, man, I'm only going to play like 8 minutes, and then I'm going to fake an injury." And then they bet on that. And because of the way sports betting is now, you really can just bet on every fucking thing. Like, is this?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you have information from the team that LeBron's not going to play that night, LeBron's not even involved in the gambling thing, but like you have that information, you pass it along.
Dude, you can place bets on Robinhood for like random weird shit, right? Like they have different things that you can bet on. I'm trying to find exactly what it is, but it's like insane the amount of shit that you can do. And it's like, oh, who's gonna win this election or some
Polymark
other
gets that
shit, right?
too.
Yeah, they call it prediction markets, and they have baseball, they have crypto. Like, here's one: how high will Bitcoin get in 2025? Like, you can bet on that, and your options are 130K or above, 140K or above, 150K or above.
Like,
Like, when will Bitcoin hit 150K? There's pro hockey. Here's elections. New York City mayor election. Zoran Cuomo or Curtis Silva to make bets on. What's the margin of victory for Mickey Sherrill in New Jersey governor election? Like, and that's on Robinhood of all places.
this is like A, making gambling online like totally fine, and B, giving dudes the ability to do it, because this is a dude thing. Dudes will gamble on anything. Don't even
Oh God,
I
yeah.
don't even bet on sports really, but like every time there's a major, me and my buddy, we bet on who's going to place better in the major, because it's just like we just want to bet on a sport. It's crazy. Dudes will
Right.
do it.
And you don't want to go through the rigmarole of like, going through and betting like really high dollar. Like you and I put bets, we've done it here on the show
Oh yeah.
for hockey,
Have
right?
I ever
Like
gotten paid, by the way?
that's unclear. My other friend that I actually did the same thing with also owes me $8 for it.
We got to clean
But
up
we
these
did like
bets.
$2 a series or something. Yeah. So but see, the difference is I'm not out here smashing your kneecaps with a baseball bat because you didn't pay. So,
Well, I think you owe me
there's that
money,
too.
so, and I'm not going to do that to you either. I'm very kind.
Or
Um,
you couldn't.
I wouldn't
But
want to.
the thing is,
No.
like, you give these young athletes a fuckload of money, like right off the bat, and then there's like they start to, as people with money, like a lot of money, experience like thrill in different way. It almost seems like the best way to get a thrill is to bet on sports because it changes so much and sports are so volatile that it just draws these athletes in to like bet on this kind of shit.
I totally get it. I am a dude who loves sports, and I would bet on anything if I thought it was like if I was gonna make $50 or whatever. And I know people that do. That like all those sports books aren't legal in California, so I can't use them, but they are legal in Pennsylvania and I think Florida. I think those are the only two places, maybe Nevada. So it's bad.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, dude, you can go to Vegas and bet on whatever you want too.
Yeah.
Like it's not, and for people who live in California, Vegas is 4 hours away. Like that, you could make that trip in a day. So people go and do that kind of shit. Like I think the sports betting world online has changed the game a lot, to make it way more addictive in probably in my opinion, because like you even have things like daily fantasy hockey, so you could just like pick a bunch of players within a certain like salary cap and try to win money that way. I've won money that way. um Nothing crazy. I think the most I ever won was like $750. Like, it's nothing crazy, but now you have people that just build these like algorithm like fantasy teams and just like flood all of these competitions with it and just walk away with tons of money. um I knew a guy I worked with a long time ago who had a bookie, and this is before the online betting like really was a thing. And I was just talking to him about it because I was interested. Like, I actually didn't really understand at the time how that worked with like the line betting and like all that kind of shit, like the plus and plus 300 minus 160 whatever. I didn't really fully understand all that at the time. And as you know, hockey is very volatile because anything can happen. Um, like the other night, I think the Blues were up like 4-0 and ended up losing six
Yep.
four in like the third period. So like hockey's too volatile in my opinion for shit like that. Um, but this kid, he was like, "Oh, I'm up like $15,000 from the weekend." I was like, "Oh, so when are you gonna go to your bookie and like collect?" And he was like, "What? Like,
Mm,
when are you gonna go pick up your money?" "Oh, I'm not. I'm just gonna let it go, and I'm just gonna keep placing bets there because he owes me $15,000." I was like, "Well, that's dumb. Like, at least take like 10 grand and then like leave 5 grand with him or something like that." But these bookies used to just bet on the fact that you're addicted to gambling and you'll never pick up your money.
yeah, and that's the old school way. Now it's just all in the sports books, but like if you watch the NHL broadcast, they're like, here's the odds for this game, and we're gonna have a
Yeah.
commercial for this, and they make it into like a funny, fun thing, and I don't think it's funny or fun. I think it's probably bad.
It's so ingrained in sport culture now that like you said, they're displaying it on the screen, like the odds of the team winning or whatever, or scoring a goal, like this person scoring a goal and shit. Like it's pretty
I
wild to
mean, very
see.
Biz goes on there every night or whenever they do their broadcast, and he's like, what does Biz think?" And he's always wrong, and place your bets with Biz, and then it's like, oh, he's literally always wrong. Like you're always gonna lose money if you listen to him.
So what you're saying is he's the Jim Cramer of NHL sports betting.
Yes, thank you for drawing that comparison. He is that because he's never right, and if you listen to him, you'd lose money. But they're all joking about it. It's the same thing with like kind of AI, and people are like, haha, I can make Gandalf do this stupid thing, and it looks real. And like there's like these cats that are driving A10s up to a grandma's house on Instagram, and I'm like, this isn't funny. This is like bad. No.
Yeah, this the sports betting culture to me, it's insane. Like I'm also not the biggest gambler in terms of like going to a casino, and even like, I have before. Like I love playing craps and cards and all this other stuff, but at some point it's like I'm also happier keeping my money than like blowing it on a cheap thrill in terms of like gambling. So I guess I'm I don't know, too stingy that way, but it'll be interesting to see what they come out of with this case because it's huge. And like, there's other ramifications too. Like Chauncey Billups, I heard on a podcast I'm talking about it. Like, do they pull him out of the Hall of Fame because he got wrapped up in like this whole situation? And like, they're gonna uncover a ton of other people who are engaged in this. So
I guarantee you it goes across multiple sports. It's not isolated to basketball. It's just it's going to be like staff. It's going to be, I don't know. Sports is weird. I saw that that one head coach of LSU got fired. I forget his fucking name. Maybe you saw this story too, but like I think her name is Olivia Dunn. She's like a cheerleader there, but she's like on OnlyFans.
Livy Dunn,
Is it Livy Dunn? I don't know.
yeah, it's yeah.
And he like gambled his entire career, literally gambling, reaching out to her, and then they like fired his ass today. And I'm like,
Oh no, I didn't see that actually.
it's weird, man. Like the sports world right now is very strange.
It is, and it's only more prevalent, like you said, with them ingraining sports betting into the broadcast itself.
It's gross.
It kind of puts it out there. I mean, and you always see these commercials for DraftKings, and then immediately they give you that spiel at the end about like if you have a gambling problem, call this number, and it's like
Nobody's ever called that number.
No. It's probably not even manned anymore.
No.
Or it's like an AI chatbot. Like
It just leads to bad
like,
things.
what are you gambling on today? This? Oh, well, here's the lines for that. Are you sure you want to gamble on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's all probably bad for society, and I guess I don't care because I'm not going to engage in it. But like, if you go to Vegas, the reason why you can only be there for like 2 days before you want to before it's like super depressing is because you're like gambling and drinking and you're staying out, and then if you venture out of the strip into any of actual Vegas, it's deeply depressing. It's like, oh, there's the AA building over here, and there's I don't know, there's this therapist and the strip club, and like it's all full of like bad vices outside of it.
Oh yeah, there's the Las Vegas Strip, and then there's actual Las Vegas, which is not nice, really. I mean, as far as I understand it, I've been to Vegas one time for like 3 days, and we were exclusively on the Strip, but I can't imagine it's very nice otherwise.
One of my best friends lives there. It is nice, but you have to separate yourself from that part of it, and then you can have a regular life. So like you either work there, you gamble there, or you live outside of it, and then there's those people who are just they are like addicted to things and who knows what. But
Well, I bet it's hard because most of the best restaurants are probably on the Strip
I would
in
agree with that.
Vegas.
Yeah.
So I mean, like you have like a Gordon Ramsay
Hell's Kitchen.
place there. Yeah, I mean you have like tons of good restaurants there. So I can only imagine it's hard to stay away from the Strip if you live in Vegas.
I
Like have you ever seen the movie The Gambler
is that Oscar Isaac?
with Mark Wahlberg?
No.
It's Mark Wahlberg plays this guy. He's a teacher, and he has a gambling problem, and he starts like using his students and stuff to like help him gamble with things like by hiding money from bookies and trying to get back before he gets killed, basically to get back to even so that he doesn't get killed. And he starts dealing with like multiple bookies and sending, like I said, sending other people to bet for him. John Goodman's in it. He's excellent in it. It's actually a pretty good movie. Mark Wahlberg's like super thin in it. I would recommend watching it. I think you might actually like it, but encompasses what we're talking about here. Like at one point, he is dealing with this bookie, um, who wants this like star basketball player in college to like throw a game essentially, and he wants this teacher to get him to do it because that's the bookie's connection to this player. And he's like, well, you owe me this money, so you're gonna get him to like throw this game or whatever. And meanwhile, he's starting to like send another student into Vegas to place a bet for him because he knows this information, like this kind of inside information that he dealt with this basketball player on and stuff, like, and that like his knees fucked up and like all this shit. So it's very similar to, in movies imitating life, I guess.
Well,
Um,
I'll drop two movies as well about the subject, because there's one with Kevin Spacey called 21, where
yep.
they based it on a true story. They sent MIT kids to Vegas to do MIT stuff, and they tried to hack the gambling. And then, of course, the other movie, which is one of the most intense movies ever made, Uncut Gems. Like that movie's all
Oh
about
yeah.
gambling on basketball.
Yeah, that was a good movie too. But see, that's what I mean is now like we've seen these movies come up like throughout time in our lives, obviously, because all of these movies have been made in the last 10 years or so. And that's almost directly correlated now to like more of the online sports betting and stuff really coming up. Like I remember when I first started using DraftKings or FanDuel or whatever, it was only available in like 3 or 4 states, and now it's available I think like almost everywhere.
But like, it's not available here. I still get those commercials. Like, I'm still aware of it. They're like, you should play on this. I'm like, I don't. It's not even legal here. Um, but like, I guess Benny Safdie's gonna make a movie about Chauncey Billups now or something. I don't know.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Uh,
That's what's coming out of this too, right? Is there's gonna be a huge movie about this in the next 5 years, depending on how the court, you know, works out in that regard. So we'll see, and let's see how big the conspiracy really is around it.
I would. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Do you want to talk about? I'll give you two options. We can talk video games or we can talk movies. We'll do one and then the other, but
Okay, let's do them both. Let's go. Let's go video games.
okay. I've been playing a lot of stuff lately. Um, I have time on my hands, and so I thought to talk about first this game called Watcher. I think maybe it's Watcher. It's on Game Pass. You're literally a giant walking lighthouse, and you have a yeah,
Okay.
stick with me here. And you have like a bird with you, and then you're like kind of solving puzzles, but like the lighthouse has its little light, and it's developed by Double Fine, and they make just interesting games in general. And it's very beautiful and interesting, and I've been really enjoying that one. And then we could talk about Battlefield. How Battlefield's out.
Yeah, I've been playing Battlefield. You and I have played some Battlefield together as well as with our super fan, and that is just it's way better than Call of Duty.
Oh, I
I
think so
mean,
too.
without a doubt. So they've just released what's today.
Tuesday, it's Red Sec.
So that's what it's called, Red Sec. That
I
just come out
I don't
today.
even know what that means. Yeah, I actually just tried it out before getting on here.
Oh, how is it?
Well, it takes about 30 minutes to ramp up. Basically, they just said like, here's Battlefield 6, and you got like your 4 maps or whatever, and then they like had all this other stuff planned, and they just injected it all into the game. So it's like you got your battle pass, you've got the battle royale, you got the new map, they've got all these new modes, and they just plugged it all in there and gave you a ton of free shit. So um, the new map is great. It's like an oil field on fire, basically. So like that's cool. The battle pass unclear. It's different from other battle passes because you've got like 3 tiers, and I guess you choose your path to level up, and then you've got like if you do all three. Sounds like I'm talking about sports betting again. You like level it up and unlock shit. And then the battle royale is like a drop in, and you get like there's a mode where you're doing like objectives, and if your squad's the best at the objectives, you win. And I don't know, they have like their own twist on it. So
Well, hey, it's definitely more interesting than Call of Duty has been.
in
You
10
die a
years.
lot. You die a lot.
But
I
you know
mean,
what? It doesn't. I'll tell you that. I'll say this. Like, and I've said this to you. Even though I'm dying, if I suck or if I'm dying, I still feel like I'm contributing, and that's something Call of Duty never really does. Because if you're bad in Call of Duty, you're just getting stomped the whole game, and then it's like, fuck you. You can keep playing or not. It's up to you.
yeah.
Whereas in Battlefield, you're like, oh, I guess I'll just lay some mines down, and then I'll start sniping, or like I'll just drive around. Like, there's just a million things you can do.
Yeah, I think that's the point of the game modes like breakthrough and stuff, right? Where like, yeah, you're dying, but you're making progress. Like even though you're dying, because you're pushing the other team back, and over time you're gaining more ground and gaining more ground, and you're basically just pulling a Russia and throwing bodies at the problem,
Yeah,
right?
it's a meat
And like you
grinder.
just keep going and going and going, and until you win or you don't win. And I think there's a lot to be said for game mode like that, because there's not many other games like that. Like you said, it's not like that in Call of Duty where you're just trying to gain ground constantly. But there's also so many different game modes, and they have your traditional like domination or like free for all. They have your traditional team deathmatch, all of which you can get in Call of Duty. But then they have these other modes, and you can like blow up buildings and like alter the course of a building so that people can't sneak up behind you like from a certain area and stuff, right? I will say the graphics are infinitely better than Call of Duty's,
It's pretty.
but it's also very hard to see people sometimes.
I think
But
this
I
patch.
think that's by
Well, I
design.
think this patch is going to clean up some of that too, because I think there's like a lot of flares, sun flares, and stuff when you're doing certain things, and they're aware of all of it. So, but like you could also just camp, and like you get credit for assists if you just see a guy with your sniper rifle and somebody gets him, or you could
Yeah.
use I don't know, the EOD robot, or you could do, I don't know. There's a million things you could do, and it's just a blast. And then if you do the bigger modes, what's cool about the vehicles is that like they're probably always taken, but at some point you're gonna die, and at some point you're gonna have the option. Maybe there's a vehicle available. You could go fly a plane if you want, or you could hop in somebody else's thing, or you don't do it at all. It's just like, yeah, just do whatever you want.
Yeah, there's just so many options like to it, and I think it's just made for a more interesting game
Yes.
than Call of Duty can even offer. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when Call of Duty comes out in a couple of weeks. But from what I understand, I saw that their like player count has dropped like drastically on Steam for Call of Duty,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like squarely in um Battlefield 6's like lane now, and they actually had, I think, just as many sales for Black Ops or for Battlefield 6 than like the last Call of Duty had at all, like within the first couple of weeks or something. So like it's everyone's enjoying this game. A lot of streamers and things that I would see, coming through videos and stuff are now all kind of switching to Battlefield as opposed to Call of Duty, which is interesting. So I think it's just a superior game right now.
Yeah, it sold 7 million copies in 3 days, which is a lot. Um, when people shit on Call of Duty for the goofy stuff, it's like I get why they're complaining about it. I don't find it all offensive. I just find that like the love the boundaries for what Call of Duty does, they've gone like beyond. So like I saw this a couple weeks ago. There was this gun, and the gun had a roller coaster on it, and
Yeah.
it went through like the trigger and the barrel and everything, and like this roller coaster's going while you're playing the game, and there's Beavis and Butthead, and I'm like, see, this is where you lose people, because like it goes a little too far. I too want to use the roller coaster gun, but this is ridiculous, and you're paying a lot of money for it. I will say
Yeah.
that Microsoft did say that because they released Call of Duty on Game Pass, the last one, they lost like $300 million in sales, and the math. That's why they increased the Game Pass subscription, because the math wasn't mathing for them putting everything out on day one. Even though they made this huge acquisition for Activision, which I had no problem with at the time, and I still don't. But a lot of people in the FCC, they were like, or whatever, FTC, whatever it was, they were like, if Microsoft gets this company, it's just going to make things more expensive for the actual gamer. I didn't see the case for it, but regardless, it doesn't really matter. They had to increase their prices because Game Pass wasn't working. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, but they went ahead and increased the Game Pass prices, and then immediately lost like a ton of fucking subscribers from Game
They
Pass.
made me second
Like,
guess it, dude.
I know,
I'm their
and
guy.
you play video games way more than I do, and you're like questioning Game Pass like completely, and so now I'm gonna take a look at it. Like, what is there on Game Pass that I really play? I don't anymore, and if I lose Call of Duty, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I think they fucked up because, and it's weird for a company that big to make this kind of mistake, but they basically go, okay, well, this is how much it costs. All right, good. And then they wait 3 years, and then they go, actually, we're going to jack it up by $10. That is like the most anti-consumer thing. Like, if you're a greedy ass company, you should increase your prices like $2 a year, or make it so it's not a big deal. But like 10, or
So it's funny because like how GameStop sells like the ultimate passes or
yeah,
whatever for like $20. They said that they're continuing on that price, selling them for like $20 instead of jacking their prices up again.
well, it doesn't.
Like they're
I think it would only take money away from Microsoft. I don't think they'd lose money at GameStop.
right, so they don't care. So they're going to keep selling them at a lower price, and people, who knows, that they might flock to GameStop to buy a bunch of those cards and just keep, using a cheaper version of Game Pass for the time being.
It
But who knows?
it kind of leads into a broader problem with Microsoft. We should just keep talking about this for a minute. Microsoft has canceled multiple games in the past 2 months, including the Perfect Dark game, and they shut those studios down. And at the same time, they're saying that they're going to make another console. It's going to be a high-end console. It's going to be very expensive. What it's going to be is a computer in your living room, and it's going to run Steam, and it's going to be a Windows-based thing. And they just came out with that ROG Ally, which is like, it's basically a Windows handheld, and they are like rudderless. They have no idea what to do. What they've always wanted is to have Windows in the living room, and they've just never really been able to do that, and they're going to try it again. But like,
Windows TV.
yeah,
Just like you have Apple TV, like they're going to try Windows TV.
yeah, they want Windows to marry with your Xbox, and that's not what Sony's going to do, and that's not what Nintendo's going to do. And so I think Microsoft has just made so many series of mistakes along the way with the Xbox One and Always Online, which was like a perceived poorly. And then they had the Kinect, and then they just keep fucking up. And then recently they announced this Halo campaign Evolved, and it's like, you're remaking the remake of Halo? You're the people who make Halo. What are you doing? Make another Halo. And it's like, you watch this company just kind of like stumble over and over and over. And meanwhile, you've got Sony that are just like, we're just going to make a really great single player game for our console, and it's going to be great. And then Nintendo's off like fucking doing their own thing, and they're crazy. But great. I love them too.
Yeah, but they own like a corner of the market for Nintendo. I mean,
Yeah. I have
do
one.
you get kids. I mean, even I have a Switch. I bought it for my wife, and she doesn't even play video games that much. But there's a market for what they're offering for sure.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why Xbox released the ROG Ally and stuff, is to try and compete in that market. And it's not going to work for them.
I don't think
Nintendo
so.
has, I mean, they've already put out 2 Switches, actually technically 3, because they made the Switch, then they made the OLED Switch, and now they have the Switch 2.
which I played a lot of on my vacation actually, because I just like fucking Nintendo games. But yeah, you have that, you have the Steam Deck, and then you have Microsoft going like, we don't. Here's what I'm gonna ask you, because we're Xbox gamers first. What? How long do you think this thing's gonna go on? Because I really wonder if Xbox is gonna be a thing in like 6 years.
I don't know, dude, because like you said, like they purchased Activision, and the one thing that I think is understated about Call of Duty is it's the same fucking game over and over and over again, and people keep buying into it. And I think that Battlefield 6 might change that, because like if you look at the campaigns like of every Call of Duty, it's the same thing. You always have the secret mission, like you always have the
Airplane
uh
mission.
yeah, airplane mission. You have the stealth using knives. Like there's always the one cutscene where you're like swimming or like doing something quiet, and then you sneak up behind somebody and stab them in the neck. Like you, it's the same cutscenes. So they're making the same games over and over and over again. And one of the fucking things I even said about like going into Call of Duty 7 versus this last one is like they're getting to the point where, because they're out of wars to like make games about, like unless they want to go back to like the Revolutionary War or something, and that's not going to be interesting for anybody, like because you want the new fresh stuff. Like they didn't have attachments and shit the way that they have now, so you can't go backwards. So they try to go forwards. And they did that before with Advanced Warfare. And then you had stupid people like jetpacking all over the fucking place, running on the walls and like stupid shit. And you're like, that's not good. Like that game sucked. It was one of the worst fucking Call of Duties I've ever played in my life.
I too fucking
But
hated it.
right, it still had the same formula. I don't think it did well. And so they just keep rehashing these games over and over and over again. And so they did what? It was Black Ops 6 was this last one.
Yeah.
And usually they change back to like Modern Warfare or something, and now they're going with Black Ops 7 instead. And I liked the zombies mode in this one specifically. Like I played it quite a bit. But towards the end I was like, ugh, it's just getting to be too much. Like to complete all these Easter eggs, like I remember when zombies first came out, it was so much fun. There was like one fucking map, and all it was survive as long as you can. Like they don't really do that anymore. Like you have a whole fucking thing that you have to do. The map takes you 10 minutes to run across the whole fucking thing. It wasn't like that in the early days, and I would like, if they're going to do anything, they need to go back to that kind of stuff, instead of keep doing what they're fucking doing.
Well, you listen to guys like that I play with. I play with people that are my age, and so I listen to them. And Call of Duty has rotted their brain to the point where they cannot conceive of any other type of game where it doesn't act like that. And so it's like, man, in Call of Duty, then they're playing Battlefield. Call of Duty has it this way. It's like, dude, you've been playing the same fucking game for like 12 years now, and it's really like you have not the ability to enjoy any other game because of that. And people just, I always called to go into the factory, because you'd log into Call of Duty and you just grind out, die at the end, go back, redo it again, and I would see.
Well, that's what they're expecting.
I would
Like that
back
is
to the
what they're
factory.
expecting. Just to keep doing that. But that's why it was great to see like Ready or Not come to or from Steam directly to consoles and stuff like that, because it was something different. It gave you, and it's very hard, but it gave you like a different perspective to play from. And I thought that was interesting. There's no team deathmatch or whatever, and so it gets you out of that Call of Duty mindset. I haven't played Call of Duty in weeks, and like I don't even think about it anymore. Like I was playing Borderlands, but that gets to just be a grind, and it's too much, and like I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to do that. I would rather play Battlefield, where like there's more objectives. It's different every time, because at the end of the day, Borderlands is the same thing over and over and over again. At some point, like you're just grinding to get loot,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah.
and that's not inherently my kind of game. But I did enjoy playing Borderlands back in the day, so I was like, oh, let me give it another shot. And then it was just crashing all the time and whatever. Um, but I've had no real issues with Battlefield 6. We all tried to play the last Battlefield that came out that was not great, but it was at least like a start for us into um, the Battlefield realm, and like doing that, like we said, like the meat grinder type of like of playing and understanding the different roles. And now they've made a better game, and I enjoy playing it more than Call of Duty for sure.
Yeah, I actually played all the Battlefields going back. I love Battlefield 1. That's the World War II game. Or sorry, the World War 1 game. And
But like to your point, like you were asking, like how long are we going to keep doing this? I don't know, because Microsoft is such a huge company. Like I would wonder how much of their income or their revenue and profits are based off of Xbox.
probably not a lot, and I think they probably care a lot more about AI now. And I could see them in the future going, why don't we just make an AI Halo game? Why don't we just let the AI do it? Like that's part of our suite of products, so we'll just do that. I could see that happening, and it's depressing. And as a video game player, I think I think Microsoft has just stumbled for so long that they'll just stumble into oblivion. I don't know.
That and telling you what vaccines to take.
Yeah,
Thanks, Bill Gates.
yeah. That whole I don't want to talk about AIs too much because it's just like I feel like it's all we ever talk about, and the data centers are evil. But um, yeah, I just think video games have like changed in such a way that Nintendo will be around forever, and they're going to have theme parks, and they're going to make movies, and the movies are going to make $1 billion, and they are set. And Sony's got its
Right.
own thing
So
because Sony's an entertainment company, right?
right. So look at what is it? Universal has like rides for Mario and
Donkey
like all
Kong.
this other shit, right? Donkey Kong. So they have theme park rides. Like, what does you don't have like a Gears of War ride, or you don't have a Call of Duty ride. Like, what, you don't have any of that shit.
I mean, Brad, they
So
all they do is remake those games. Like they just remastered Gears of War. I'm like, who the fuck is gonna play a Gears of War remaster? I'm not gonna play it. It's available for me for no cost, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. Why isn't that studio doing something else? And then they're just like, we're just gonna remake games forever. They remade Oblivion. I love
that's what
Oblivion,
they're doing at this point. Yeah,
but
it's you're right. It's all remakes, and don't get me wrong. The first Gears of War was great. I
yeah,
enjoyed that game. I played the fuck out of that game. Even the multiplayer of that game was great, dude. Like the active reload, making your fucking gun more
at
powerful
the
if you hit
time it
it
was
within the
awesome.
right. Like, yeah, it was awesome. Chainsawing people in half and shit. It was great.
What
But do we
next?
need a rehashing of that? Not really. I don't even shit. We didn't even need what was it? Six different Gears of War games. We didn't need six Gears of War games.
Yeah, and then the games I maybe this is why. Maybe because they did do Halo Infinite and it was a completely different Halo experience. I loved it. I don't know that everybody played it. I don't know if it had problems. They had they do these games in Unreal Engine. Well, the Unreal Engine games looked like shit. And the new Halo one has issues. There's problems with it because it is Unreal Engine, and they're not doing engines in house anymore because it's cheaper to do it this way. And so yeah, I guess we just get remakes, and then you just fire half the Forza studio, so they're not going to make another Forza game because the last one wasn't really that great. I mean, it was fine, but and then you got your Forza Horizon announcement, and what do they show? Like they just show like a room. It's a car game, dude, and they're like look at this Japanese stuff on a desk, and you're like, who's running the show over there, man? It's crazy. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. Because like, do they let these compete? Do they let these studios like kind of still have their own autonomy, like
I would
after
say,
their acquisition, or
well,
no?
Brad, I would say that maybe they do, but the people at those studios also aren't making good decisions. So, and this is happening everywhere. It's not just me saying it. Like Dragon Age Inquisition, like nobody fucking played that game because it looked so ugly and it was so full of like, what are your pronouns and all this shit. And it's a Dragon Age game, and you're like, it's like, who over there thought that was a good idea? And I mean, it takes 5 years to develop a game. So if you're injecting all of your shit from 2020 into a video game and it comes out now, it's like, ugh,
Why? Right? Why?
it's a fucking video game, dude. Yeah, I think it's just these studios just have been run poorly. Unless you're Nintendo, and then you're just like, hey, you have to pass a test to even work here, and you're gonna have to like, you have to like embody our values, and then you'll be here forever, and you'll just have fun making shit. I don't know that everybody has fun making games at these studios. It's just a job. You want to talk about some movies?
Yeah. What do we got?
Well, I'm pulling up my letterbox right now. Have you seen anything recently?
Trying to think.
All right, well, I'll go first. I watched The Materialists on the plane. That's with Chris Evans and
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal and what's her face. I thought it was kind of it was an interesting movie. It was a very strange movie, and she's like she sets rich people up with dates basically. She's a matchmaker in New York, and it's kind of a gross movie because it deals with a lot of things that are kind of like Pedro Pascal has like had his legs broken so that he could like be 3 inches higher, and like it's all just like stuff like that where it's like, oh, these are the worst people on
What?
earth. Yeah, apparently you could do that. That's a real thing. I don't know. Anyway, the movie's supposed to make you think that like she's the matchmaker, and then Chris Evans is like the dumb fuck up, and then somehow she's gonna like take him over any rich guy ever, and it was just a strange movie. Caught Stealing was incredible.
Yeah. Oh, was it?
Yeah. Oh,
I know you talked about it briefly, just in group
yeah.
chat and
Oh, yeah.
stuff like that. But
I was like, what's this movie is fucking wild, and I was like, it's all over the place, and then it continues to get all over the place, but in weirder ways, and it was just so like awesome. It's just such a weird
well,
movie.
because the dude from House of the Dragon is in that. His name's like Matt something, British actor. Um, and he's in House of the Dragon, and in that he has like a mohawk or some shit, right?
Yeah, yeah. But here's the thing about this movie: Austin Butler's the main character. All there's like 12 or 13 other characters in this movie, and they're all just coming in and out all the time. So like it's always about Austin Butler, and then there's like the cat, and there's who's the chick from the Batman? Uh Zoe something. What's her name?
Oh
I don't
yeah,
like her at all.
Zoe
Yeah,
Kravitz.
like she's in there a little bit, and there's Liev Schreiber and is in it. He plays like this Jewish guy. There's like these Jewish gangsters in it, and but the whole point of the movie is like absurd, and it was just so much fun to watch. And there's a lot of good action scenes, which this is a Darren Aronofsky movie, so not known for action or any of this kind of stuff. Like the dude what did The Whale and Mother is like, I'm gonna make an action movie, and it's really good.
Good, I'll have to check that one out. I like Austin Butler, so I'll have to check that one out for sure.
Yeah, throughout the movie, he's just like, what the fuck is going? Like, how is like he's just trying to get away from it all. Also, I watched The Nightmare Before Christmas for the first time. Have you ever seen this
Oh
movie?
yeah, I have, unfortunately. I am not the biggest fan. Um, it's what's his name? Who's
Tim
the
Burton.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Tim Burton fan either.
I
So
gotta tell you, like everybody I talked, I always thought this movie was beloved, and then I watched it and I was like, this movie fucking sucks. And then I started,
it is beloved. It's overrated.
yeah, I started asking
It's a
people,
beloved movie, but it's completely overrated.
and that's what I found out is most people agree with me. I talked to people who I thought would have loved it, and I'm like, this movie's not very good, right? And they're like, no, it's not actually. I'm like, okay, good. That's not just me.
I remember seeing it as a kid, and I just was like, it's not that interesting of to me of a movie. Like it's just not.
Yeah, it's not. Um, I also just watched a bunch of documentaries that Mr. Death was interesting because he was just like a guy who reinvented the electric chair, and then he decided he was gonna go to Auschwitz and illegally steal like rocks from the place to prove that the gas wasn't there or something. Like that was interesting. There's an October 7th movie called Bearing Witness to the Massacre. That was really, really good. It had a lot of footage I hadn't seen before, and it was extremely unpleasant. I just really don't ever want to. I think I've had enough
See,
of seeing that shit.
this is the time of year where I go back and kind of watch all of like the good horror movies that are out there, or like movies I haven't seen before or something. So like I watched 30 Days of Night again. Like that's such a quality film.
I do like that
Um
movie.
yeah, like it's just solid. I watched like The Faculty, which is Josh Hartnett again, but that stacked cast for that. Like
Super
Elijah
fun
Wood is
movie.
in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dumb but super fun. And I watched The Thing, like the original again. I watch that every year. I fucking love that movie. It's top 5 all time for me. So it's spooky season, so I'm just going back and watching horror movies like regardless.
I did Spooky Season 2. I watched Tremors the other night. I,
Nice.
I love that movie. I don't think it's as good as I remembered it, but it's still fine.
I've been watching Monster, the Ed Gein
You've
story on
recommended this to me.
Netflix. Yeah, I'm watching it with my wife. It's hilarious and weird and gross. I think you'll like it. I must say, Charlie Hunnam in it, who I will say, I guess I haven't seen a ton of his work because like I wasn't a big Sons of Anarchy guy. Like everybody loved that show. I was not really into it. But he always plays these like really tough guy roles, I think, and this is a complete departure for him to play Ed Gein. But hot damn, like so Ed Gein was the inspiration for the movie Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He was the inspiration for Buffalo Bill and Silence of the Lambs. Like, you know, this guy was like real fucked up. Like he only knowingly killed 2 people, supposedly killed at least like 7 more. He would like dig up graves. He was a necrophiliac and stuff, and he spent like 30 years in an institution before he died. Um, and just wild shit, in the late 40s to like mid 50s was like all this shit going on. So obviously it was a little easier to get away with stuff then. But just, I mean, crazy shit, dude. Like he made like lamps out of people's skin. He had a nipple belt. So it's just like, and you could see like all this shit. And it's such a good show, and I still have like 3 episodes left on it, and it's just been that good. And Charlie, like I said, Charlie Hunnam has been unbelievable in it.
Well, Netflix does the one thing they do that I do like is the crime shit, and they had that God, what was they did a couple of serial killers. Help me out here. What was the last one?
They did the Menendez brothers, which they weren't even really serial killers. It's the 2
No.
brothers just killed their parents, and that was like it. And so that was the second season of Monster. This is the third. The first one was Dahmer.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah, that one was great.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is part of that series. So then I probably will
Yep.
like it. Um,
Yeah, I think you will. See, the thing of like Dahmer wasn't. So it's a new director in this than the first 2 seasons. and Dahmer was like, I want to say darker, like it was less campy. Like this one's a little campier and brings a little comedy to it, I guess. Um, I I I end every episode laughing. Like I find it hysterical. I know this probably makes me fucked
Yeah,
up,
you're
but
probably
like
a lunatic.
it's funny, and some of the shit that they're showing, I'm like, I can't believe they're showing that. But because it's Netflix, they can kind of do whatever they want, right? Which I appreciate in this regard. But then they go and they make like a House of Dynamite, which I watched, and House of Dynamite is essentially the book Nuclear War Scenario in a
I
movie.
heard this movie is absolutely dog shit.
Some of it is like it starts off, I think, like pretty good. Again, I read that book, so I was like, okay, here's like the comparisons to that book, in my opinion. So, it's interesting here and there. The ending completely fucking sucked. They just like randomly threw Angel Reese into the fucking movie. Like, for who cares? Like,
What?
because Idris Elba is the president, and it's fine, don't care. But like, he ends up going to an Angel Reese like event for like kids or something, and she's there, and he's like shooting basketballs with her and all this other shit, and then he gets rushed away because the nuke was launched, and he just happened to be at this event. But
Oh
like, you picked
boy.
Angel Reese, where there's like, I don't know, 40 other women from the WNBA that are better than Angel Reese, and you just had to chuck her in this fucking movie for whatever reason,
That's
right? Like,
bizarre.
yeah, it's just bizarre. There's no ending. Okay, so like the impetus of the movie is that somebody, they don't know who, they don't want to say who ultimately,
Russia.
but they know. No, actually, they pretty much find out it's not Russia or China. Like, so in nuclear war a scenario, it comes from North Korea. So I think the assumption here is that it's from North Korea, right? Um, but they're not sure. And it goes through like this whole thing where they're talking to Russia, and they're like, well, if we respond, we want you to stand down because we have to fire missiles over Russia to hit North Korea. So just know that like we're not attacking you, but like we have no choice but to fly over. And that's part of what nuclear war scenario is about, is like, okay, North Korea fires a missile at us, hits this power plant in California, and then we start firing back. And because we're firing back, the Russians are like, well, they're attacking us, even though we just need to fly over Russia. And so they start launching fucking missiles, and it just becomes like this whole problem. Well, then in the movie, they try to the U.S. has like these interceptor missiles, essentially to shoot a missile with a missile
The
and
Golden
knock it out of
Dome.
orbit. No, it's just before that. That's not even a thing yet. Um, but they apparently only have about a 61% success rate. Um, if you read the book, I think it's actually lower than that. And now the Pentagon has come out and are like, this is bullshit. That's not true. We have like in tests, we have like 100% success rate of like knocking all this shit out. No, you don't. No, you absolutely don't. We know that. But they, you know, when the general's told like, oh, there's a 60% success rate or whatever, he goes, so we have a coin flip, $50 billion, and we have a fucking coin flip. And that, so the Pentagon has come out and go, it's no, that's not true. So of course the Pentagon's up in arms about this fucking movie, which is like ridiculous. But then in the end, nothing happens. So they're asking Idris Elba as the president. He has to give like from the black box or whatever, or the black book, a specific set of codes. It's the nuclear football, so he has to give a specific set of codes, and then they're asking him what his orders are, and he's like, my orders. And then the fucking fade to black. They don't show the nuke hit. It's supposed to hit in Chicago in the movie. They don't show the nuke hit. They don't show anything. They don't show any retaliation, nothing. It's just over.
You,
So the whole fucking movie is like it takes place over the span of like 17 minutes or 16 minutes, some bullshit like that, right? Like they get there, there's a launch, then you have 16 minutes, and it starts at each different place of like, you know, a general, Idris Elba as president, Stratcom, like all this other shit, right? And then you're seeing it from these different perspectives, and so the whole thing is over the span of like 16 or 17 minutes, and nothing fucking happens.
Well, I mean, you're wrong. Actually, I don't know why you're not a bit more excited about Angel Reese. Uh, yeah, no, that sounds horrible. Actually, the way I heard it described, it sounded more like that War of the Worlds with Ice Cube, where it's like it takes place from a Teams meeting, and you're like, okay.
I mean, sort of. It doesn't. They're all on this meeting because that is what happens. Like, if you know, that's the protocol. They're all on these calls and everything, and getting status updates and shit. But there's a lot of other stuff going on in the background. Like, people are freaking out over because they don't tell, you know, the general population that people are gonna die and all this other stuff. Like, it's kind of crazy, right? And then like security is walking into like certain rooms full of people and finding like certain people, and they're like, you're designated to come, you're like, you have to come with me. And they go to fucking Raven Rock in Pennsylvania, in Adams County, Pennsylvania, to basically hopefully survive a nuclear like holocaust, basically. And like it's just, the whole thing's kind of crazy. But as the book illustrated, and as this movie also illustrates, is that the government does not care about you. The entire point of the government is to keep itself running. So I think let's keep that into perspective, because I've long said that, and this book and this movie confirm shit like that. So don't watch the movie. It's fucking, I was excited for it just because it looked exciting, but then they totally just fuck you on the ending.
Um, I won't watch it. There is some stuff coming out. Um, I can't find it. I'm on my phone right now. Isn't there's the guy that did the Netflix stuff? I think it is a Netflix movie actually, but it's coming to theaters. I forget his fucking name, but he made that vampire show that was really 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 good. Does it
True Blood?
no, it was a newer
I didn't watch True Blood,
Midnight
so no.
Mass.
Oh
He
yeah,
has a new
yeah,
movie
yeah.
coming out, so I'm kind of excited for that. And then Frankenstein looks incredible. So
I like Midnight Mass, and I think Frankenstein does look good. I'm excited to see that one. There's a couple movies coming out that I'm interested in seeing for sure. Um, there's one November. I'm interested to see Predator Badlands. I know you probably aren't, but I am.
I like the last Predator movie, and I'm not interested in it. I guess I don't know. The last one was really cool, and I think this one just seems like I don't know. They changed the time period, right?
What's that?
I'm asking you on our audio podcast, Brad.
What's your question?
They changed the time period in the new Predator movie.
They all take places in different time periods. So like Prey is obviously it's not like, this is not a sequel to Prey or anything like that. This actually, I don't even think takes place on Earth. So this is completely from the Predator standpoint.
Wait, I'm getting this mixed up with something else.
Yeah,
This one I thought was cool. It's got Elle
it's
Fanning
weird
in it.
because yeah, and she's Wayland Yutani bot. So what they're doing is they're setting up they're going to set up another crossover to do another Alien vs Predators. Ultimately, I think what they're getting at here, because they're making sure that obviously the Wayland Yutani Corporation exists within the Predator landscape. So, but yeah, they talked about doing a Prey 2, which had come out on Hulu. But this one's completely different than that.
Okay, I
That's
was
why I was like
interested in this
confused.
one.
I'm like, no, they definitely didn't do that.
I thought there was like one that was like going to be a Civil War era or something. I must be, I don't know. I must have saw something else.
The thing is, I think there's different people working on different Predator movies, like simultaneously. It's just very similar to like how all this Batman shit's working out, right? Like you have James Gunn sitting here doing Superman. He's obviously going to have to do something with Batman at some point, but simultaneously you're building out um the Batman with Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves and like that whole storyline and shit. And so it's getting messy in the DC comic universe.
Oh, you forgot about Clayface 2026.
Yeah, that could be good because they're supposed to do that as a horror movie.
I'm open to all of it. I mean they're doing a Spider-Man noir series with Nicolas Cage. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah.
It's gonna be a cartoon, isn't it?
No, I think it's live action, which is awesome. He's the best part of that first Into the Spider Verse whatever movie. So
Which was a cartoon.
yeah,
So are you sure this one's not going to be a cartoon?
I am. I'll look it up anyway.
I think it might be a cartoon.
Is the new Spider-Man noir series a cartoon or live action?
The new Spider-Man Noir series starring
Live action.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I think that'll be interesting. I have no problem with them taking shit in a different direction because like obviously they're still pushing this like Marvel shit on us, like Avengers Doomsday or whatever, and all that bullshit.
Don't fall for
Which
it.
again, like I actually liked the Fantastic Four movie that came out this year. It's definitely the best Fantastic Four movie they've ever made. But yeah, we're still gonna get all this bullshit. So who knows?
Yeah, so Fox is going to do, or Disney or whatever, they're gonna make all these universe crossover things, and in the end we get Spider-Man versus the Xenomorph, and that will be great. That's how this all ends, I think.
That'd be kind of funny.
Heck yeah, it would be. That'd be better than This is the best idea that they've ever had.
So we need more movies like that, right? Like the problem is these crossover movies have never done well. So like Alien vs Predator never really did well. They're trying to bring that back with this new Predator movie. Obviously, eventually they're going to be doing another Alien vs Predator. But like you had Freddy vs Jason, which didn't do super well. I want to see more of this ridiculous shit because let's get back to making fun movies. They don't have to be the best. Let's just get back to making fun movies and not some of the bullshit that's out there. I'm excited to see Bugonia, I think is what it's called.
I am looking less and
with
less
Jesse
forward to that
Plemons.
movie.
Why's that?
Because the director is just fucking lunatic. Here's the problem. When you come out with a new movie and you say all kinds of extremely absurd shit about politics and stuff, you really make it hard for me to want to care about your movie. And this, I forget his name, but I love all of his movies. I don't know. I'm sick of people running their mouths off.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. I mean, we're in this for the next 3 years, guaranteed. People running their mouth off about politics and shit, and then it'll all go away at some point. Who knows?
I mean,
but I'm just I'm tired of listening to it.
Yeah, we did a whole episode without politics. Like, obviously, I don't want to talk about politics.
Right. No, and that's fine. Like I get it. I like doing these episodes too. We don't have to be politics centric here all the time. That's the point of our podcast. It's whatever we want it to be. Doesn't have to be the same thing all the time. But
well, I will say with Begonia, like I can pretty much tell what that movie's message is, and it's very much like a pro kill the CEO of United Healthcare type of story, and I'm sure a lot of that stuff is injected into it. I heard the same thing about that other DiCaprio movie that totally bombed.
Oh yeah.
And
He is an interesting case study when it comes to movies.
mhm.
DiCaprio, like some of his movies just really don't do all that well. I mean, like Killers of the Flower Moon was released directly onto like Apple TV, wasn't it?
Yeah, that
Or
movie
something like
did
that.
not make
Like
money, I guarantee it.
no, it did not do well. And the problem is like, is it him or is it someone else? Because he is a good actor. I mean, he's a brilliant actor. So what is it really?
I love that
Um,
movie. It's just the subject matter. Who wants to watch that?
right. And so I'll watch that when it comes out, but I'm not going to go to theaters to see that one.
He's the most interesting, I think, because he will work with different directors every time. So, like, I don't think he's ever worked with Paul Thomas Anderson. He'll do Scorsese a lot. He's occasionally done Spielberg, but like he'll kind of work with anybody. It's different from like a Tom Cruise who just has his guys, and then like your Brad Pitts that they kind of develop the thing they're going to star in. So like it's like I'm going to make an F1 movie, and then they just make it happen. And he isn't like either of those. He just kind of works with whoever. I don't know what drives him, Brad. He is a case study.
Yeah, he's interesting. I mean, he takes vastly different roles, I will say. Like I'm interested to see some of the action in this movie to see if it's any good.
I heard it
I think
was.
is
I heard there's some car
yeah,
chases.
I want to see the action parts of this movie and kind of exclude the rest. But again, I'm just gonna wait for it. I mean, Bugonia, I might go see. I love Jesse Plemons. I think he's
I love
great.
Emma Stone.
Um, yeah, and the last thing we saw her in was Eddington, which was unbelievable. It's the most unhinged movie of the year for sure, and I loved it. So I don't know. What else is coming out? Like the rest of the year might be good. I heard the Springsteen movie is not supposed to be very good,
I heard that is a real bad one. Yeah. I
which
mean,
is a shame because I like some of those biopics. I mean, the Bob Dylan one was great, but Timothy Chalamet versus uh, Jeremy Allen White, I'll take Timothy Chalamet in terms of acting any day.
Jeremy Allen White. Yeah, I don't.
And I like him. I'm
I
not.
like
That's
him,
not
but
a. Yeah, that's not a knock on him in any regard. But I also don't really care that much about Bruce Springsteen at all. I don't find him to be that interesting, but I guess some people do.
well, Brad, I'm looking at this right now, and I see that there's an Avatar movie out this year.
Huzzah! I never even saw the first one.
You shouldn't. They're
I don't plan to.
they're all incredible waste of time.
I've been on the ride, which the ride's pretty neat and stuff at Disney, but I don't know. To me, it was like Fern Gully,
Mm,
like a rehashing of Fern Gully in some
no,
capacity.
not really.
Uh,
It's dumber than that.
oh,
Uh,
even better.
but actually, there's
They
two.
were both about climate change, so
Yeah, they lean into that even harder in the second one, and it sucks. There are two movies here actually that are coming out that you're gonna love. Probably one of them is Running Man. Sure, why not?
I would have to go back and watch the original because that's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie
It's
that I
incredible.
was probably too young to remember.
It's so cheesy. It's so well done. I love how cheesy it is. And then you have your Wicked movies coming out, so you get
Yay.
to wrap up that chapter of your life.
I have my early access tickets
Great.
already
Good luck
to
with
take my
good luck
wife.
with the popcorn bucket, Brad.
Oh, dude, it's even worse now. It's not just a popcorn bucket. They have like snow globes that they're handing out for like early release if you're going to see it in Dolby. All kinds of stupid shit. But I like getting stupid shit. Like when I went to see Alien Romulus, they had a little like Wayland Yutani patch. I don't even put it on anything. I just have it.
Yeah.
And I have it because not everybody else does.
Yeah.
And that's what's important.
And that's why you're getting silly, goofy shit from me soon in the mail. So there's that. Brad, we recorded a podcast. I'm ready to wrap it up if you are.
Hey, absolutely, man. It's fine. I guess I can save this for next time.
What do you got?
Oh, no, it's okay. I'll save it.
All right.
Not a big deal. Save it for the next podcast.
All right, I'm not pushing you off the stage or anything, but I don't know.
Well, this might be a depressing thing to end on if you want to end on something depressing. It's not politics related, though.
Yeah, I want to see something depressing. Go ahead.
Okay, excellent. So this falls under the category of news you may not have seen. This is part of my bit for you is like to find items that you probably didn't pick up on or see, even though now you have a lot of time on your hands. So this article is entitled "New Malware Waits Until You Watch Porn, Then Secretly Films You Via Your Webcam."
Okay, two things. One, that's really fucked up. And two, I always cover my webcams up, not because I'm doing anything like that, but because I don't trust anything, anytime, anywhere. If there's a camera, cover that shit up.
I mean, so that's a good PSA for this exact article is like cover your fucking webcam.
You don't need to have your webcam like open. You don't ever have to have it on. Even if you're not doing anything. This stupid laptop I have right here, it has a webcam in it, Brad. And I'm gonna cover it up because I don't want anybody to see me, even if I'm just doing this.
Also, don't click on fucking emails that you don't know where it came from.
Okay, so
plain and simple. Like, don't click on the links. Okay.
Humor me a little bit and explain to me how this might work. You just click a link or...
So it's malware. It's called Stellarium. Okay. And basically it detects porn activity and then will take compromising pictures of you while you're jerking off or whatever to whatever porn and use it in blackmail and sextortion attacks. So they go on to say like, oh, you may have heard about those emails from scammers who say they have nude photos of you to try and get you to pay money to prevent their release, right? But for a long time, they were just scams. And this Stellarium apparently knows when you're viewing pornographic material in your browser and automatically takes screenshots of what you're viewing so it can see what porn you're watching, and it'll take screenshots of what porn you're watching and webcam photos of you cranking it to fucking whatever you're watching.
So basically...
and then it sends those recordings to cyber criminals who use them for blackmail.
So I guess this is the darker version of an Anthony Weiner or a Jeffrey Toobin who are just tugging their hog for fun on, and they just kind of get caught. And now it's darker than that because the innocence.
Yeah, because the difference is it'll take screenshots of what you're watching in the first place.
I mean, I would.
So if you're into like some really creepy shit, like it's got you.
I would be curious to know. I mean, the dark side of it is that I would be like actually kind of curious who's up to what. Like, oh, this famous person or celebrity is up to no good. They're doing dark things in their private lives.
So it comes from email. So it says Stellarium malware is spread via phishing emails, just like any other malware, really, but that the emails apparently are deceptively genuine looking. They disguise the emails as from like banks, streaming services, and charities, and encourage you to open attachments on the click and links.
Okay, so here's where like the cell phone, the smartphone is helpful because it's kind of a closed off thing. It's hard to get bad things on there. Your laptop though, oof. Cover that webcam, folks.
So this is where, okay, you and I obviously have discrepancies between like Apple and Samsung, right? In terms of phones. Apple's very good at eliminating malware. They are. It's just something they're good at. They're a little better from the security standpoint than like a Samsung is. But this can, I probably get on your phone. But ultimately, here's a funny thing about the Stellarium is that the source code for this malware has been freely available on GitHub for years. And it's just that for educational purposes, and now somebody has decided that they're just going to start taking pictures of people cranking it and like blackmailing you with it.
Log off. Just log
Go
off.
touch grass, morons.
I hate to go back to that. Everybody get off. Wait, no.
No,
Don't-
that's the problem.
No, don't do that. Sorry, bad advice. All right, you've done it. We're closing on a heater.
I love it.
Have a good one.
See you, everybody.
Bye.